Hey guys, today we're going to be working on page 397 in your workbook, and then we're going to be doing homework and remembering 6-3. All right, here we go. So we're going to be talking about problems that have an unknown start, which means we don't know a certain number, and then we're going to solve to figure it out. Let's read the first one. This one's called an add to, right? But it also has an unknown start. Greta put some beads, we don't know how many, put a little question mark there. Greta puts some beads on a string. Then she puts on 70 more beads. Now there are 130 beads on the string. How many beads did she put on the string to start? So when we don't know a number, we're going to use a letter. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to use the letter A because I don't know what she's starting with, right, Greta? Then she puts on 70 more. So she's adding 70 more beads. I don't know that first number, but I'm going to figure it out. Then she ends up with 130. Now, just like I think it was yesterday, that was yesterday, where we had a times problem and then we had to turn it into a divide to figure out. So this time we have a plus problem, but we're going to turn it into a minus problem. So just like times and divide are kind of opposites, plus and minus are also. So we know that if I want to turn this into a minus problem, I need to put my big number on top. Let's draw our lines across. All right, and so I've got my total, that 130. Okay, and I'm going to subtract 70 to figure out what she started with. Then I'm going to be figuring A, aren't I? I'm solving for A. So let's do this problem. 0 take away 0. See if you can do it before I finish. I can't do 3 take away 7, so I need to cross out my 1, put a 0, and then I bring 1 over and I make a 13. 13 take away 7. I'm giving you a little wait time there to write it down. All right, did you get 6? So if I would go over, I can say that A equals 60, doesn't it? So 60 plus 70 equals 130. So to go back to the question that they asked, how many beads did she put on the string to start? She put on 60 beads. You can write your answer over here just like this. Just add your label there. That is just fine with me. Okay, so you're going to put your equation on the line and then you're going to solve on the right. Okay, now that was an unknown, that was called an add to unknown start. Let's look at our next one. This says take from with an unknown start. So I know that I'm going to be taking away. So I'm going to be minus there. All right, let's read it together. Greta puts some, remember, unknown start, beads on a string. Then 70 of the beads fell off. Oh dear. Now there are 60 beads still on the string. How many beads were there at first? So as you write your equation, I like to go back to the beginning of the problem and just take it one step at a time so you don't get confused. Greta puts some, so we know we have a question mark. I'm going to use the letter A again. You could also put a question mark there if you wanted. A, she puts some beads on a string. Then 70 fell off. They're falling off, so it's a minus. So I have A minus 70 equals, and then she says there are still 60 beads on the string. After those fell off, there were still 60 left. How many beads were there at first? Now, because this is a minus problem, I'm going to change it to a plus so that I can solve for A. So I'm going to take the two numbers that I have, 60 plus 70, to figure out how many how many beads were on the string when she started. Okay, so go ahead and add that together. 0 plus 0, easy peasy. 6 plus 7. Okay, you put 13. So that means that A is really 130. So 130 minus 70 equals 60. So when they say how many beads were there at first, I know that there were 130 beads before she had those fall off. Okay? So don't let the unknown start part confuse you, okay? Because you're just solving for that. You're just putting a letter in there for that. All right, let's look at the next one. Number 3. It says add 2 and then unknown start again. Okay, so I know that I'm going to be, they're giving you a hint there, aren't they? All right, Patrick was carrying some booklets. There's my some, that's my question mark. His teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. Now he has 110. How many booklets did he start with? Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Patrick was carrying some booklets. Okay, I'm going to put my letter there. I'm going to use A again. His teacher asked him to carry 30 more. So plus 30. Now he has 110. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what A is. And because this is a plus problem, I'm going to turn it into, I hope you said minus. And when I minus, I'm putting my big number on top. Of course, I'm lining up my digits because we know that. And then I'm ready to solve. Okay. 0 take away 0. 1 take away 3. Can't do 1 take away 3 because it's bigger on the bottom, isn't it? So I need to go next door. Cross out that, put a 0, bring another 1 over. I'm adding a 10 to the one that's already there, which makes 11. And then I'm ready to subtract. 11 minus 3 is 8. So I know that A is 80, don't I? And then I can put my label, which is booklets, 80 booklets. All right, now, Mrs. Hagen wants to leave you with one of those to do. We already can see that it's a take from, so I'm going to have a minus, aren't I? And I want you to figure out your letter and all your stuff that goes with it on the line, and then come over here and finish that one up for me, and then meet me on the front of 6-3. All right, guys, we are going to talk about what we're going to do on this page, okay, and then we just have a few on the back to do for your homework. All right, first thing we're going to do is draw our lines across so that we can have space for our work. That's why it says show your work. Okay, we are crossing out this one. Okay, I'm going to say that number 5 is extra credit, but I'm hoping that a lot of people do it because it looks like it'll be very similar to the ones up on top. So I'm always looking for those people working a little bit harder or a little bit extra when they don't have to. All right, number 1. Brenna saw some cows, unknown, right, at a farm. Then she saw 16 horses. She saw 35 cows and horses in all. How many cows did she see? Okay, so we know that this is our question mark at the beginning, isn't it? Okay, and like I said, you can use a letter or whatever you want there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use A again. Okay, so she saw some cows, then she saw 16 horses. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add on 16. Okay, then she saw 35 in all. Okay, so I'm solving for A. I'm figuring out what that is. And I can see that this is a plus problem. So what do I need to do to figure it out? I need to turn it into a minus problem. So I'm going to go ahead and take my big number, 35, to take away my 16, which will give me my answer, right? And then, of course, I will make sure that I am including my label, cows. And you can solve and then just circle this when you're done, okay? Let's look at another one here. Jamal caught some lightning bugs. His friend gave him 13 more. Now he has 29. How many did he catch? So let's go back to the beginning. Jamal caught some lightning bulbs. I'm going to put an A. His friend gave him 13 more. So A plus 13. Now he has 29. Okay, I can see that this one is also a plus. So I'm going to flip it around to a minus to figure out what A is. All right. Always remembering that label. Okay, bugs. All right, lightning bugs. We don't have to put that. Okay. And let's see if we can get something different on the next one. And then I have to let you do some on your own. Anu is eating grapes. She has eaten 14 of them. She has 18 left. How many grapes did she start with? Now this is kind of interesting because our unknown is going to be at the beginning. Okay, so she's starting with grapes. Okay, we don't really know how many. So once again, we're going to put our letter A. Okay, she's eaten 14 of them. Take away 14. And she has 18 left. Okay, how many grapes did she start with? So this is a minus problem. So to get the answer, I'm going to do a plus. So I'm going to do my 18 plus 14. I'm going to let you figure that out. And then I see a label here, right here. And then I have one for you to do. And then I'm hoping people do that extra credit one. And then I want you to meet me on the back. All right, here we are on the remembering side. So we have things that you should remember, right? I'm going to read this first one to you. Cameron buys 1/2 dozen red apples. Okay, 1/2 dozen red apples and 3/6 dozen green apples. Let's underline those. Okay. Does she have more red or more green apples? I'm going to come up to where my white space is because we did these a little bit ago and we had to figure out which fraction was bigger. Okay, who remembers when we did the cross multiplying? We went this way and then this way and we wrote our answers and then we could tell which fraction was bigger. Okay, all right. And so you, on the line, you're going to say, does she have more red or green? Okay. Something's interesting on that one. You're going to figure it out. All right. So let's look at number 2. Same thing. A stack of computer paperweights weighs 4/8 pound. A stack of notebook paper weighs 3/4 pound. Which stack of paper weighs more? Go ahead and do the same thing. And Do your cross multiplying and write your answer to see which number is bigger. All right, you're going to either say, is it going to be the computer paper or the notebook paper? All right, we are going to say stretch your thinking is extra credit, and please do number 1 and 2 on your own. You will be good. Thanks, guys.